This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Und damit herzlich willkommen.
And then one day something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Yes. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Darf ich jetzt etwas sagen? Ja, damit herzlich willkommen bei einem neuen Projekt hier auf dem Channel. Wir spielen The Stanley Parable. Und das hat auch einen Hintergrund, denn wir behandeln tatsächlich dieses Spiel im Seminar und ich kenne es nicht. Deswegen muss ich es mir jetzt, oder was heißt, ich muss es mir angucken. Ich will es mir mal zu Gemüte führen und dachte, ich nehme euch direkt mit. Ich habe überhaupt keine Ahnung, was uns hier erwarten wird. Ich kenne das Spiel überhaupt nicht. Ich habe nur mal gehört, dass es wohl sehr krass sein, also sehr anders sein soll. Aber ich würde sagen, wir gleiten so. Pfiuh, pfiuh. Der gleitet so. So seltsam, als wäre der auf Rollern also so Rollschuhen unterwegs, oder? Hier können wir nicht rein. 429. Also es hört sich jedenfalls an, als könnten wir damit interagieren.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ja, wer weiß. Vielleicht sind die aber auch alle bei Starbucks.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ja, wer weiß. Lass mich doch gucken. Jemand anrufen? Pizzaboten oder so? Oh. Oh. Das Licht. Schade, ich wollte gerade reinzoomen. Naja. Was steht da? Like. Kann ich nicht lesen. Frage ist, wo ist der Konferenzraum? Hier sieht alles gleich aus. Laufen wir zurück? Laufen wir vor? Ich bin mir gerade so unsicher. Hä? Das sieht alles gleich aus.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Dann, ihr wisst ja, wir gucken mal rechts, weil ich will nichts verpassen. Hey!
Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ich glaube, das Spiel mag meine Spielweise nicht, weil ich ja immer erst genau in die andere Richtung gehe, wie das Spiel es gerne hätte. Ich gehe immer erst in die andere Richtung. Ich glaube, das Spiel mag mich bald nicht, wenn ich so weitermache. Mal schauen, ich lasse es drauf ankommen. Das ist wunderschön.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Schön.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nein.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Schön. Sorry, ich kann da, bei sowas kann ich nicht anders. Das habe ich mir mittlerweile so angewöhnt, dass ich immer woanders gucke. Damit ich ja nichts verpasse. Warum gehen die Türen immer zu? Mann. Ach, das geht doch nicht. Können wir springen?
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Ups, das wollte ich nicht. Ups. Ist ja lustig.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So, ich werde jetzt mal versuchen, es die ganze Zeit erstmal alles entgegengesetzt zu machen. Und ich werde aber auch mal einen Durchlauf machen, je nachdem, wie die Story sich entwickelt. Das weiß ich ja nicht. Gegebenenfalls kommt noch ein Durchlauf, wo wir dem Ganzen komplett folgen. Ich weiß gar nicht, wo wir hin müssen. Wir folgen jetzt erstmal diesem Weg.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Aha, wie schön.
Yes,
ja.
This room. What a beaut, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nein. Nein.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Können wir hier denn noch irgendwas anderes machen, als in den Tod zu springen? Oder müssen wir von dieser Stelle aus? Haben wir hier keine andere Chance, als in den Tod zu springen?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Her? Wer ist her?
Stanley, your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Wer ist her?
She's been waiting.
Wer ist her? Schade. Sieht aus wie bei Ikea. Boah, immer diese Türen, die zugehen.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Was, wenn ich es nicht tue? Kann ich das rausziehen?
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Hey.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
What the fuck? Practice? Huch.
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back.
Oh?
You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Ich will durch die Wand gehen. Ein sehr, sehr seltsames Spiel. Faszinierend. Müssen wir wieder hier drauf? Ja.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Was? Na, wie toll. Jetzt werden wir von selbst beschützt.